Did you know millions of car owners fall for fuel scams that empty their wallets without them knowing? But guess what? You're most likely falling for it too, which is costing you thousands of dollars each year. Before wasting any more time, here's 15 fuel scams you don't know you're falling for. Not skipping will save you money, and the last tip will prevent a $4,000 scam you're probably falling for. Let's dive in. Scam number 15. Credit card skimming. More than $1 billion each year, according to the FBI, are lost due to fuel station credit card skimming. These tiny devices slip right over the card reader and steal your info fast and without you knowing. But here's what they don't tell you. You won't know you've been hit until fraudulent charges start popping up on your statement days later. And when the screen defaults back to swipe payments, boom, they've got you. Here's the catch. Give that card reader a good wiggle before you use it. Skimmers are often loosely attached and will move if you tug on them. But here's the truth. Better yet, pay inside with your chip card or use contactless payment apps, because this scam is way more common than people think. Speaking of invisible theft, this next scam is so sneaky you'll never see it coming. Scam number 14, pump switching. Picture this. You're pumping gas when a friendly stranger approaches offering to help hang up your nozzle or finish the transaction for you. Seems harmless, right? Wrong. The pump switching scam targets people using credit cards to pay at the pump. And these helpful folks have one goal: keeping your transaction active so they can pump gas on your dime. And just when you think that's bad, one victim discovered a $165 charge on their credit card after letting a stranger help them, way more than the gas they actually bought. Even worse, these scammers then offer to fill up other cars for cash while charging everything to your card. And it gets worse. Some scammers have gotten so bold, they'll aggressively take the nozzles from victims' hands after being denied assistance. And when they work in teams, one person distracts you while another keeps your pump active for multiple fill-ups. But here's the truth. The fix is simple but crucial. Politely decline any help and always press end transaction yourself. Don't let anyone else touch your pump, no matter how nice they seem, because kindness at the gas station often comes with a hefty price tag. But wait until you hear about this next con that preys on your good heart. Scam number 13, the stranded motorist setup. Gas stations are prime hunting grounds for sob-story scammers. They approach you while you're trapped at the pump with a hose in your tank, spinning tales about sick relatives, dead car batteries, or hungry babies. But here's what they don't tell you. The stranded baby-toting couple at the gas station is but one of the many successful distressed stranger scams common to the urban experience. And here's the kicker. In 1996 in Providence, a swindler working the I need money for gas con admitted he made between $50 and $350 a day from this endeavor. Not a bad living for professional begging, huh? And they time their approach perfectly when you can't escape, using your trapped position at the pump to their advantage. It gets worse. Some even point to cars with children in the back, claiming the kids are desperate to eat while the parent conveniently left their wallet at home. But here's the truth. Reality check. If someone really needs help, offer to buy them gas directly instead of handing over cash. Most legitimate situations have legitimate solutions that don't involve your wallet becoming their ATM. Now let's talk about a scam so technically advanced it makes skimming look like child's play. Scam number 12, Bluetooth skimming. Welcome to the future of fraud. Bluetooth skimming. Thieves use hidden Bluetooth devices inside pumps to steal your credit card information without any physical contact with the card reader. But here's the part most drivers miss. These devices can transmit your stolen data wirelessly to criminals sitting in nearby cars, making detection nearly impossible. And just when you think that's bad, even Secret Service agents trained in surveillance techniques have fallen victim to gas pump fraud using this method. It gets worse. When criminals gain access to universal keys that allow installation inside the pump, detecting these internal skimmers becomes virtually impossible. Here's the catch. The single fix to this high-tech heist is using mobile payment apps, which avoid the card reader altogether. And when that happens, the stolen information gets sold on dark web marketplaces or used immediately for online purchases and cloned cards. But here's the kicker. Defense strategy. Before paying, check your phone's Bluetooth settings for unusual nearby devices. If you see random device names popping up near the pump, pay inside instead. The technology keeps evolving, so staying one step ahead means avoiding the card reader entirely whenever possible. But if you think high-tech scams are bad, Wait until you see this low-tech con that's been fooling drivers for decades. Scam number 11, pump hose switching. This one's straight out of a magician's playbook. Criminals park on one side of the pump and reverse the hoses so the hose from one pump is in the holster of the other pump, and vice versa. But here's what they don't tell you. When you pull up and start pumping, you're actually filling their tank while they drive away with free gas on your dime. And here's the kicker. The victim puts the nozzle in their car, pulls the trigger, and watches the pump meter dials whiz around, but no fuel flows from their hose because it's attached to the other side of the pump. The criminal drives away before the con trick is discovered, leaving the victim to realize they paid for gas they never received. And just when you think that's bad, in 2019, officers with Roseville Police arrested a man for pulling off the same scheme at least a dozen times. But here's the truth. Spot check. Make sure your hose traces directly from your car to your side of the pump. If hoses are stretched across or crossing over, something's fishy. The visual check takes 2 seconds but can save you from funding a stranger's road trip. If you're finding these scams useful, hit that like button because we're just getting started. We got 10 more, and one of these might be happening right under your nose and can save you a lot of money. Scam number 10, phantom charges. Ever notice your pump meter start running before you've even put the nozzle in your tank? But here's what they don't tell you. Some gas stations have pumps that are doctored to give false readings, often counting slower, so you actually pay more. Even worse, in extreme cases, charges might begin before you've even started pumping, literally stealing money for fuel you never received. And here's the kicker. The amount stolen from each individual customer is minimal, but if employees do this regularly, it can add up to a considerable amount of money stolen from many victims. But let's be honest, investigators who monitored this type of dual price pump at a gas station in Long Island saw this scam repeatedly pulled off without a single motorist spotting the trick. And just when you think that's bad, travelers in Mexico have reported teams of windshield washers who gather around a vehicle so the owner can't see the pump reading when it stops short of what they paid for. But here's the truth. Countermove. Watch that display like a hawk. If numbers start moving before gas starts flowing, you're being scammed. Report it immediately to station management and your state's Weights and Measures Department, because this invisible theft adds up to serious money over time. But speaking of paying attention, this next scam relies on you doing the exact opposite. Scam number 9, fake gas discount cards. As gasoline prices surge, enterprising fraudsters have discovered a new way to victimize consumers through fake gas card promotions. But here's what they don't tell you. These scammers create ads that appear to be from known companies, offering free $200 gas cards from Shell or other major brands through social media, emails, and even telemarketing calls. Here's the catch. The scammer then tells the victim they must pay a nominal $2 shipping and handling fee and asks for personal credit card information to facilitate payment. But here's the kicker. What victims discover is that not only does their gas card never arrive, but someone has made hundreds or thousands of dollars in unauthorized purchases on their credit card within hours of providing the information. And it gets worse. The ads target people through multiple channels, from Facebook posts to text messages, all designed to create urgency and excitement about the free offer. But here's the truth. Legitimate companies don't need your credit card info for free promotions. If you didn't enter a contest, you didn't win anything. When someone you don't know contacts you with news that you've won a valuable gas card, be very skeptical, especially if you don't recall entering any contests. Now let's dive into a scam that's so simple. It's genius. Scam number 8, the cash to credit switch. Some gas stations advertise lower prices for cash payments, but sneakily charge customers the higher credit card rate, even when they pay with cash. But here's what they don't tell you. Customers who come in to pay with cash might be charged the credit card rate instead of the cash discount rate, pocketing the difference for dishonest employees or owners. But here's the kicker. Those pennies add up to serious profit for dishonest station owners when multiplied across hundreds of customers per day. And when employees do this regularly, the amount stolen from many victims can reach considerable sums. And here's the catch. Dishonest cashiers know that even if someone notices, most customers won't make a fuss over 20 or 30 cents. But when you multiply that theft across thousands of transactions, those cents become serious money flowing into criminal pockets. But here's the truth. Always check your receipt and verify you got the advertised cash price. Don't let them pocket the difference, because every penny stolen is a penny that should be in your wallet, not theirs. But if you think that's sneaky, wait until you hear about this high-tech takeover. Scam number 7. Multiple pump transactions. This one requires a crooked cashier, but when it happens, it hits hard. But here's what they don't tell you. A cashier collaborates with a driver or other scammers to merge charges from multiple pumps into a single transaction, with the extra payments being split among the fraudsters like a criminal profit-sharing plan. Here's the part most drivers miss. You think you're paying for your single tank of gas, but you're actually funding multiple fill-ups for a network of scammers. Here's the irony. The beauty of this scam for criminals is that your transaction goes through normally, so you have no reason to suspect anything until you check your statement later and wonder why your $20 fill-up cost $80. And when that happens, the other scammers get free gas while the cashier pockets a percentage of the stolen money. But here's the truth. Always verify the amount on your receipt matches what you actually pumped. If it seems unusually high, challenge it immediately, because the time it takes to check your receipt is minuscule compared to the hassle of disputing fraudulent charges with your credit card company. Speaking of unusually high charges, this next scam will make you rethink trusting anyone at the pump. Scam number 6. Prepaid pump fraud. Somebody goes inside to put $50 on a pump, but the car wasn't parked in front of the pump. But here's the catch. Instead, another car pulls up to the designated pump and takes the gas. Then, the original scammer comes back claiming they need their gas, banking on the station manager, allowing them to fill up without paying again, essentially creating their own buy one get two deal. Here's the irony. It's a brilliant psychological con that exploits both the gas station's desire for good customer service and creates confusion about who paid for what. But here's the kicker. The goal is simple. They get a tank of gas. 2 people get a tank of gas for the price of 1, while the gas station either eats the loss or accidentally charges someone else. And here's what they don't tell you. The criminals count on human error and the natural inclination to give customers the benefit of the doubt when there's confusion about payment. But here's the truth. If you prepay inside, walk directly to your designated pump and start filling immediately. Don't give scammers a chance to steal your prepaid gas, because the few extra steps to secure your transaction can save you from funding someone else's tank. Now let's talk about a scam that turns your own kindness against you. Scam number 5, the fake charity collection. Gas stations are perfect hunting grounds for fake charity scammers who set up tables or approach customers with official-looking collection buckets. But here's what they don't tell you. They often target high-traffic locations during peak hours, when people are more likely to donate quickly without asking questions, preying on your natural desire to help others. Here's the part most drivers miss. Fake charities use names very similar to real, legitimate organizations, making it nearly impossible to tell the difference in a quick interaction. And here's the kicker. In 2020, Americans lost $4.4 million to charity fraud, not including money lost to fake online fundraisers. But let's be honest. One Suffolk County woman scammed people into writing checks to the American Cancer Society. But instead of donating the money, she altered the checks and cashed them for herself. And when they set up professional-looking displays with stolen logos and convincing stories, they often hire legitimate-looking people to ask for donations on their behalf. But here's the truth. Verification process. Real charities have legitimate tax ID numbers and official documentation they can provide on the spot. If someone can't provide these immediately, walk away. Donate directly to verified organizations instead, because the few minutes it takes to verify a charity's legitimacy can prevent your good intentions from funding criminal activity. But if you think fake charities are bad, this next scam literally steals your fuel in real time. Scam number 4, side fueling. The truck and a second container like a jerry can or fuel bladder are filled at the same time and charged as a single transaction to a company fuel card. But here's what they don't tell you. This scam is particularly popular with people who have company fuel cards or fleet vehicles, essentially getting double the fuel for the price of one tank. Here's the part most drivers miss. Scammers bring extra containers and fill them alongside their vehicle's tank, while the meter runs up charges for what appears to be an unusually large tank. But here's the kicker. During one conspiracy, criminals drove vehicles that contained a fuel bladder system, that allowed them to fake pumping gas into the vehicle's gas tank, when in fact the diesel fuel was being pumped into the fuel bladder system hidden from view. But here's the truth. Be suspicious of anyone with extra containers at the pump, especially if they're trying to fill multiple vessels during one transaction. Report suspicious activity to station staff immediately, because these operations can steal massive amounts of fuel before anyone notices the pattern. And speaking of getting extra for less, this next scam shows just how creative criminals can get. Scam number 3, price display manipulation. Some stations use deceptive tactics with their price displays. But here's what they don't tell you. They'll advertise one price on their large street sign, but charge a different, higher price at the pump. To catch this scam, pump exactly 1 gallon and ensure the pump price matches the sign, because even a few cents difference adds up to significant theft over time. Here's the part most drivers miss. Other variations include displaying the cash price prominently while burying the higher credit card price in fine print, or showing prices that don't include mandatory fees or taxes. But let's call it what it really is. False advertising designed to lure you in and overcharge you once you're committed to the purchase and have already started filling your tank. What makes this scam particularly devious is that criminals know most drivers are creatures of habit, routinely stopping at the same gas stations without checking prices carefully. They exploit this trust by gradually increasing the difference between advertised and actual prices, knowing that loyal customers won't notice small incremental changes over time. The most sophisticated operators even use programmable LED signs that can be adjusted remotely throughout the day. They'll display competitive prices during slow periods to attract customers, then spike the rates during rush hours when drivers are focused on speed rather than savings, essentially creating surge pricing without disclosure. But here's the truth. Protection protocol. Pump 1 gallon first to verify pricing and report discrepancies to your state's Department of Consumer Affairs. The few extra seconds it takes to verify the price can save you from systematic overcharging that adds up to serious money over time. Now we're getting into the really devious stuff. This next scam could drain your entire bank account. Scam number 2, fuel type fraud. A driver uses a company fuel card to purchase the wrong type of fuel for a truck, implying they are fueling a personal vehicle while claiming company expenses. But here's what they don't tell you. This scam specifically targets people with company or fleet fuel cards, where scammers buy premium gas for personal vehicles while claiming they're fueling a company truck that requires diesel. Here's the irony. The beauty of this scam is that it's hard to detect unless fleet managers are actively monitoring fuel purchases in real time. But here's the part most drivers miss. Scammers know most companies don't cross-reference fuel types with vehicle requirements, so they can steal expensive premium fuel while claiming legitimate business expenses. It gets worse. Some drivers even inflate their mileage records to cover personal fuel purchases, creating false documentation to support their theft. The most brazen criminals even coordinate with corrupt gas station attendants to manipulate receipts, changing fuel types and quantities after the transaction to match company vehicle requirements. This creates a paper trail that looks legitimate during audits, while the stolen premium fuel gets resold or used for personal benefit. Some operations are so sophisticated, they involve multiple employees across different companies, sharing company fuel cards and splitting the profits from fraudulent purchases. These networks can steal hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of fuel before detection, often operating for years before getting caught through routine audits or whistleblower reports. But here's the truth. Management tip. If you manage a fleet, implement strict fuel type monitoring and regular audits to catch these discrepancies. The investment in monitoring systems pays for itself by preventing thousands in stolen fuel expenses. And now, the #1 fuel scam that's so brazen, you won't believe it actually works. Scam number 1, inflated transaction collusion. Coming in at number 1, a driver asks for a specific amount of fuel, but pays for more with a company fuel card, splitting the difference with the cashier. But let's call it what it really is. This is straight up theft involving collusion between customers and gas station employees, and it's way more common than people realize. Here's how it works. The customer asks for $40 worth of gas, but pays for $80, pockets the extra $40 in cash from the crooked cashier, and drives away. But here's the kicker. The company or card owner gets billed for $80 while only receiving $40 worth of fuel. Here's the irony. It's the perfect inside job because both parties benefit and there's built-in loyalty between co-conspirators. What makes this scam absolutely diabolical is that corrupt cashiers often recruit multiple customers, creating networks of fraudulent transactions that can steal thousands daily. They'll offer increasingly generous splits to keep customers coming back, essentially running their own criminal enterprise from behind the counter while their employer unknowingly facilitates the theft. The most sophisticated operations involve multiple gas stations and can process hundreds of fraudulent transactions before anyone notices the pattern. Some cashiers even use fake customer profiles and loyalty programs to create layers of documentation that make the fraud appear legitimate during casual reviews, only getting caught through intensive forensic accounting. But here's the truth. Corporate defense. Companies need to implement strict controls, GPS tracking, and regular audits to prevent this type of fraud. For individual consumers, always verify your receipt matches what you actually received, because the few seconds it takes to check can prevent you from becoming an unwitting victim of organized fuel theft. If you're able to get valuable information that could save you thousands of dollars in preventable scams, comment down below. Aside from these, did you know your local mechanic is probably scamming you? Click this video, you wouldn't regret it.